Hello friends, welcome to TechCube Gate classes. My name is Professor Vivek Singh Rathore and I am Assistant Professor in Government Engineering College Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh. And in this video lecture series, I am dealing with Signals and System subject, in which today we are about to start module number 6. Till now we have completed module number till module 5, in which I have dealt with classification of signals and system, LTI system, Fourier series for periodic signals, Fourier transform, and then we have seen Laplace transform, and now we are about to see Z transform, which is similar to Laplace transform but for discrete time signals. So we'll start the session. If you have seen all the videos till now, and if you have liked the video, if you are gaining some knowledge from these videos, please hit the like button, share it with the needy students, because this initiative we have taken for the benefits of the student community. So share it as far as possible, so that it may reach to the needy students also. So okay, let's start our session with our Z transform. We'll see that Z transform is bit similar to the Laplace transform. Just we'll see the for the discrete time domain. Okay, discrete time signal only we'll see. Okay, so first of all, when we have started our Laplace transform, we have seen that what was the reason to go for this more generalized transform when we were having Fourier transform. Because see, we have seen till now CTFT, that is Fourier transform for continuous time signal, and that was similar to for discrete time signal also. I will tell you. See, Fourier transform. First, I will tell you. I will relate your Fourier transform with this Z transform. So see, Fourier transform was there for continuous time. For continuous time, we were having f of omega is equal to minus infinite to infinite f of t e to the power minus j omega t dt. This mathematical expression was for calculating the Fourier transform for a signal f of t by this mathematical expression. If we are having discrete time signal and we need to calculate Fourier transform, so what will happen? What will happen if it will come like this? Okay, wait. We'll write f of omega, and now we'll see for discrete time signal we'll replace integration by summation. So summation will be there, n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. Here t was minus infinite to infinite. F of n will be there because our signal is in discrete time domain, and e to the power minus j omega, for t it will be n. Okay, and this will be the summation. So Fourier transform for discrete time signal is this, and this is called as this is CTFT, and this is called as GTFT. We'll study DTFT more detail in the next module, but as of now you can understand this. So from continuous Fourier transform or discrete time Fourier transform, the main problem was that if at all our f of t, or you say minus f of t infinite to infinite minus f of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, or is not less than infinite, means this is the existence condition for Fourier transform. If you remember, existence condition for Fourier transform is f of t to the minus j omega t mod value should be less than infinite. If it is there, then only, and you can go for Schwarz inequality, and you can hold this value also, that minus infinite to infinite mod of f of t dt should be less than infinite value. So ultimately, what was the conclusion for these all things was that if your f of t is not absolutely integrable, then your Fourier transform cannot be evaluated. We have seen in many type of signals, we have seen that some signals like e to the power minus atut, e to the power minus atut, like this type of signal Fourier transform was easily calculated, because this signal is value is tending to 0 when t tending to infinite. But this type of signal u of t value was not absolutely integrable. So we have taken the Fourier transform by some other technique. That is why this signals are called as limitedly defined Fourier transform. But this type of signals were Fourier transform was not at all means this signal is not at all absolutely integrable. So this signal Fourier transform was not defined. This is limitedly defined, and this is truly defined. So uh, what we saw was that like this type of signal, if we'll multiply with a exponentially decaying signal, then for some value of signal like c, when this type of signal is there, when it is multiplied by this type of signal, then somewhere you can say that this value is not at all increasing, but it will decrease somewhere. It will decrease somewhere, like see, like this value will go on like this. Okay, so see, uh, okay, so what will happen that see, whenever a signal is not at all absolutely integrable, then we'll multiply a signal with like e to the power a t u of t is there. Okay, e to the power a t u t, this signal is there. It is not absolutely integrable, so we'll multiply with a exponential decaying signal, so that it will cause like e to the power minus a minus sigma t will happen. And for some value of sigma, like for some value of sigma, maybe sigma is let's suppose a minus sigma is less than 0, a minus sigma, so a is less than sigma. So sigma, when sigma is greater than a, or we can write it sigma is greater than a, for sigma is greater than a value, है ना, this signal will be decaying, and then we can calculate Fourier transform. So moreover, for generalized, we can keep this value as a ROC for ROC, region of convergence, and this all process is called as Laplace transform, for which only sigma is equal to 0 value can be called as Fourier transform. So my main aim about for revision, for this revision, was that you can understand how Z transform also came. So see, now you understood that how from continuous Fourier transform, for some signals we were multiplying this type of decaying signal, and we are seeing that for which value of sigma it is absolutely integrable, or we can take out a region of convergence. So okay, we got. Now what for discrete time signal, what is there for discrete time signal? So we'll see, as of now you are having f of omega is equal to summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite, f of n is there, e to the power minus j omega n is there. This is the formula for calculating discrete time Fourier transform, dtft. Okay, so see, maybe this f of n is not absolutely integrable, then what you'll do, then you cannot calculate discrete time Fourier transform. Then what we'll do, we'll multiply a uh, decaying signal. So let's multiply with this f of n e to the power minus sigma n, and then e to the power minus j omega n. Okay, now see, earlier what we were doing, we were calculating Fourier transform for this type of this signal. Now we are taking Fourier transform for this signal. Now our signal has been changed. Our signal has been changed to fn into e to power minus sigma n. Now this is our main signal. So obviously f of n is multiplied by e to power minus sigma n. So for some value of sigma, this value will be decaying, and then we can take Fourier transform. So see, now we can simplify it like see, we'll write here n is equal to minus infinite to infinite is there, f of n will be there, e to the power minus sigma n, e to the power minus sigma we can take as here n, and here also e to the power e to the power j omega can be written, and here minus n will be there. Here also we'll take minus only, will not take plus, so that common can be taken. And now we can put as n is equal to minus infinite to infinite, f of n will be there, e to the power sigma can be taken, e to the power sigma can be written as let's write e to the power sigma is equal to r is equal to e to the power sigma. So we'll write here uh, r minus n e to the power j omega minus n. So it can be written as n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. F of n will be there. R e to the power j omega to the power minus n can be written, and let uh, z, z is equal to r e to the power j omega. So here, like in Laplace transform, we have taken s as a complex variable for where in the Laplace transform, I will write here. Okay, Laplace transform s is equal to sigma plus j omega we have considered earlier, if you have remembered. Here we'll take z is equal to r into e to the power j omega. Okay, so z is equal to r e to the power j omega. There, okay. So see, we can write here as summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. F of n will be there, z minus n will be there. This is the expression, and now we can write as here when we were taking f of omega, so we are taking minus j omega, and here we can take f of z. Okay, f of z, z can be written because here z variables are there. So this is the final expression for calculating z transform. This is the final where z is equal to r e to the power j omega, where we can say that magnitude of z will be equal to r and phase of z will be equal to omega, है ना? Phase of z will be equal to omega. So this is the final expression for our z transform. By this expression only your z transform will be calculated. If you need f of z transform, like there see, I will write here again and again. F of t Laplace transform will be equal to f of s. F of n, okay, same, only discrete time. So z transform will be equal to f of z. Okay, this is the thing which is the concept you should clear. Okay, again one more conclusion I will tell you. See, when f of t, okay, when f of t was there, if we are changing it to frequency domain, if we want to analyze in frequency domain, we'll get f of omega. This is called as CTFT, continuous time Fourier transform, है ना? From time domain we are taking it to frequency domain. This is only there. Okay, now see, when for f of t e to the power minus sigma t, for this value if we will take continuous Fourier transform, we'll get f of s. Okay, f of s, where f s is equal to sigma plus j omega. What if you have seen, if you have understood the in the last module, you can understand that when we are taking Fourier transform only, but our signal is f of t into e to the power minus sigma t. And if we are taking this Fourier transform, then what we are getting final value is f of s. Like same as f of n will be there, and if we are taking dtft, so what we are getting, f of omega only. Okay, f of omega only we are getting. And if we are doing f of n into e to the power minus sigma n, just like this, I will write here clearly for your understanding. E to the power minus sigma n, and now we will take discrete time Fourier transform. What we will get? We will get f of z. Okay, f of z. So ultimately what we are doing, z transform is nothing but Fourier transform of f n into e to the power minus sigma n. मतलब in Hindi, if you understand that, अगर f of n का सिर्फ आप सीधा क्या बोलते हैं, f of n का फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म ऑफ लेते हैं, तो आपको f of ओमेगा मिलता है. लेकिन f of n को जब मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं e टू द पावर माइनस सिग्मा n से और फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म लेते हैं, तो आपको f of z मिलता है. ये चीज को आप बस याद रखिएगा, यही चीज तो कॉन्सेप्ट है समझने का. सो दिस इज द कॉन्सेप्ट विच यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. आई थिंक यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट वेरी वेल. सो सी, नाउ इफ यू हैव सीन, Z transform is bit similar, almost similar to your Laplace transform. Just t is replaced by n, and some values are replaced. Like there, S is equal to sigma plus j omega was there. Okay, sigma plus j omega. Here Z is equal to R e to the power j omega is there. Okay, there if you see, real part of S will be there. Real part of S will be equal to sigma, where this is only used for ROC value है ना, region of convergence. Here mod Z will be there, which is equal to R, and this value will be responsible for ROC value. This will be only for phase. Okay, so here ROC was formed in rectangular strip. If you see, it was formed on rectangular strip, and here ROC will be formed on circular strip. Okay, circular strip, or we can say annular strip. Annular strip. Okay, so this is the some changes in that. Okay, and what was the existence condition for Laplace transform? Existence condition for Laplace transform was f minus infinite to infinite ft into e to the power minus sigma t. Okay, this value should be less than infinite, है ना, this value should be less than infinite. And here condition for existence for Z transform will be summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. Fn was there, Fn is there, r to the power minus n. Okay, r to the power minus n. This summation value mod should be less than infinite. This is the existence condition for Z transform. This condition, though, we have already seen in the Laplace transform, but this condition is condition for existence for Z transform. Okay, Z, it means that for calculating Z transform of any signal f of n, any discrete time signal, f of n into r to the power minus n mod value, summation value should be less than infinite. Then only you can calculate its Z transform. So from this conclusion, what you will get, for some value of r, like here for some value of sigma, this value will be absolutely integrable. So that value of sigma is only called as ROC. Here also, for some value of r, see n is going from minus infinite to infinite, but f of n is okay, your signal is there, but f of n may be absolutely integrable, not integrable, we don't know. But some value of r, this all total portion will be absolutely integrable for some value of r. That value of r is only called as region of convergence. So region of convergence ROC will be represented by the value of r, or you can say mod of Z. Okay, here ROC was represented by sigma, or real part of S, है ना, for, because see, for those value of sigma only this value will be dependent na. Here for those value of r only this value is dependent, that it is absolutely integrable or not. So this clear cut concept you should understand, why we are going from a discrete time Fourier transform DTFT was there to more generalized transform Z transform is there. So this concept you should understand. Okay, now we'll see Z transform for some standard signal, then only you will understand how we are able to calculate. So we'll try for some standard signal like that of delta of n. Delta of n is a impulse signal. It is a impulse signal is there. Okay, impulse signal. Okay, fine. So see, first of all you need to check that whether Z transform can be calculated for this signal or not. So first of all, first step should be ours, that condition for existence, है ना, condition for existence we need to check. So we'll see summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite value. F of n is nothing but delta of n. R of minus n will be there. This value, mod value, should be less than minus infinite, है ना. So is it possible? So any signal multiplied by delta of n, so n is equal to, here we will get 0 value, so we'll give 1 value, so total summation of delta n value will be 1. So 1 is absolutely less than infinite. Therefore z transform can be calculated. Now अगर आपका condition is satisfied, so what is the formula for calculating z transform? है ना, z transform will be calculated like um, summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. F of n is there. F of n is nothing but delta of n is there. Z to the power minus n. Okay, this is there. So ultimately value will come here 1 only. So ultimately your f of z will be equal to 1. So delta of n z transform will be equal to 1. This is your answer for delta of n, है ना. Very easy. How we have done? First step was condition for checking condition for existence. Second step is directly, if it is okay, then you can directly put the value. Okay, we'll see one more question, then you will understand. Let's suppose u of t is there in time domain. You will see u of n will be there in the frequency domain, not in the discrete time domain. Okay, so u of n, first f of n will be equal to u of n. Calculate z transform. So first of all, what we will see, is it z transform is possible or not. So condition for existence, will see condition for existence is minus infinite to infinite, u of n r of minus n mod value should be less than infinite. This is the condition. So condition is will keep un is there, so n is equal to 0 to infinite value r of minus n. So this value can be written as n is equal to 0, so we'll write as 1 plus r to the power minus 1 plus r to the power minus 2 plus r to the power minus 3. So okay, this value, maybe if r is equal to, r is greater than 1, r is equal to 0, or r is let's suppose we'll keep r is not, r is greater than, less than 1. Okay, we'll keep r is equal to 1. Let's suppose if r is greater than 1, then obviously this series will be decaying. 1 2 to the power minus 1, 3 to the power minus 2, like this. Means any value will be there, it will be decaying only. So for r is greater than 1, this signal overall will be absolutely integrable. Its value will be less than infinite. Very good. For r is equal to 1, so 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus plus, it will go on. So it is not absolutely integrable because it will go till infinite, so it is not possible. R is less than 1 if it will keep less than 1. Okay, so 1 by 2, let's suppose r is equal to 1 by 2, so 1 by 2 to the power minus 1, so 2 to the power 1. So it will go on increasing, it will be exponentially increasing signal. So this is also not absolutely integrable. So for only r is greater than 1, this u of n, u of n z transform can be calculated. So for ROC will be, region of convergence will be, r is greater than 1, or we can write as mod of z is greater than 1. This is the value where your signal will be, region of convergence will be there. Okay, so for this value only we can take z transform. So let's take z transform. Z transform formula is n is equal to minus infinite to infinite, and u of n can be taken, and your signal not e, z to the power 1 minute, we'll write z to the power minus n will be taken. This is z transform, so we can write here like n is equal to 0 so infinite, and z to the power minus n will be there, and you can also write here as z to the power 0, that is equal to 1. So 1 will write 1. Okay, 1 plus z to the power minus 1 plus z to the power minus 2 plus so on it will go. It is a GP series, so what we'll do, a for calculating it, a by 1 minus a is the first term, so 1 by okay, here actually first term by 1 minus a is the common difference actually. So first term is 1 and 1 minus z inverse will be there. If you can divide z inverse by 1 and second term by first term, you will get common difference. This is the expression what you get in u of n. So this is f of z will be there. I can tell you that u of n z transform will be equal to 1 by 1 minus z inverse. This is very important because these are standard signals now. So this z transform, Laplace transform will be used in many questions. You have seen in the Laplace transform also. So very important conclusion we got, that u of n z transform is 1 by 1 minus z inverse with ROC z is greater than 1. And this condition we have seen, this condition how we have seen by this formula. So now I think you must be getting that how we are calculating the z transform, how we are seeing the existence condition of Fourier z transform. So see, one more question I will take, then you'll more understand. Let's suppose your f of n will be let's suppose u of minus n minus 1 will be there. Okay, see, u of t is like this type of signal, u of minus t will be equal to like this type of signal, like same u of n will be equal to uh, okay, this type of signal will be there. Okay, this type of signal will be there, and u of minus n minus 1 will be there. uh, this type of signal will be there. Why we are not taking u of minus n? Because if only if you take u of n and u of minus n, then you need to consider from 0, but already in u of n 0 value is considered. So if you are taking reversal value, we need to see u of minus n minus 1. So it will start from here. So the opposite signal, discrete time signal of u of minus t is nothing but u of minus n minus 1. So if you want to calculate z transform for this type of signal, first of all, existence condition you need to check that are we able to calculate its z transform. So see, and if see, in objective type of question, if you see the options like z transform is possible or not, then do check the existence condition, because if it is in option, then it may be the answer, है ना? So existence condition will be checked. First of all, n is equal to minus infinite to infinite, u of minus n minus 1 will be there, r to the power minus n should be less than infinite. So means like this value should be infinite. So we'll take n is equal to minus infinite to minus 1 value, r to the power minus n, and this value will be seen. This value should be equal less than infinite. So here we'll say r to the power 1 will be there. Okay, means I must take from minus infinite to plus 1 minus 1, but I'm going on reverse order because from minus infinite it will coming, it is so long. I'll take see minus 1, so minus 2 minus 3 will also come, so r to the power minus 2, so 2 will come, like this it will go on, plus it will go on, and r to the power infinite also value will happen. Acha, okay, if if at all, if at all r is less than 1 value, then only this value will be decaying and it will be absolutely integrable. Otherwise, if r is equal to 1, r is greater than 1, it is not equal. So this value only, if r is less than 1, then only this value n is equal to minus infinite to minus 1, r to the power minus n will be less than infinite. Okay, so this is our ROC, region of convergence. So for this value only we can take Z transform for this type of signal. And how we'll take Z transform? See, Z transform for a signal we can calculate like summation of n is equal to minus infinite to infinite. F of n will be there. F of n is nothing but u of minus n minus 1 will be there, and z to the power minus n, and here we can write n is equal to minus infinite to minus 1 and z to the power minus n, which can be written as z to the power 1 plus z square plus z cube plus so on, z to the power infinite value will be there. So this value can be written as first term will be z, 1 minus z will be there. Okay, and for the ROC, which value z mod z is less than 1. Whenever mod z is less than 1 or r is less than 1, then only we can take its Fourier transform. This is f of z. So ultimately what I wanted to tell you is u of minus n minus 1 u of minus n minus 1 will be equal to z 1 minus z value. Okay, uh, I'll tell you like this. Z transform will be z 1 minus z when mod z is less than 1. This is ROC condition. This is satisfied. Okay, if you have understood this value, now if I'll ask you one more question, that calculate calculate z transform for f of n is equal to minus u of minus n minus 1, then how you'll do? It's the same method will apply. Just u of minus n minus 1 is there, so just you can tell f of z will be equal to minus z 1 minus z will be there. Okay, and mod z will be less than 1 only, because only we have done negative sign only. Now we'll understand that. See, now you have seen that what will be the region of convergence value, but how we will plot? In S plane we were having rectangular strip, and here we are having circular strip. So how this rectangular strip has been converted to circular strip, we'll see. See, uh, in S plane we were having sigma plus j omega. Okay, I am dealing with Z plane. How will represent Z plane? So in S plane we were having S equal to sigma plus j omega. So here we can represent sigma with the real value in the x-axis, and j omega in the y-axis. So the value is in the rectangular strip form. Now for Z plane, Z is equal to r e to the power sigma, है ना? R e to the power sigma, oh sorry, r e to the power j omega. Okay, r e to the power j omega, r is equal to e to the power sigma. Okay, so here z value is there. Okay, fine. So we'll see for z is equal to for sigma is equal to 0. For sigma is equal to 0, we were having s is equal to j omega. S is equal to j omega means this line s is equal to j omega. Sigma is equal to 0 line is this one. Okay, and for z plane what will happen? Z is equal to r is nothing but e to the power sigma. So sigma is equal to 0, so r is equal to 1, है ना? R is equal to 1, so e to the power j omega will be there, and r is equal to 1 will be there. So see, and you can say that r is equal to 1 means mod of z is equal to 1 means magnitude will be 1 and phase will be equal to omega. So ultimately z can be written as z is equal to 1 angle omega. This you can write. Okay, so it can be written, it can be plot as see, r is equal to 1 means this circle is of radius 1. So radius 1 will be there. R is equal to, it is center, so r is equal to 1 will be there. Okay, and now the face is 1 will be same and omega will be there, so this will be like this. Okay, so this is r is equal to 1, r is equal to 1, r is equal to 1, r is equal to 1 means the strip will be circular strip, है ना? For this value will be r is equal to 1. So ultimately in S plane, okay, j omega axis is equivalent to z plane r is equal to 1 circle. Okay, this is one transformation. This is very important now, because you know for stability we need to consider j omega axis. So here also r is equal to 1 circle we'll need to consider. Next we'll see, let's suppose sigma is equal to minus 1 will be there, minus 1 will be. Okay, or we'll see, okay, sigma is equal to minus 1, so s will be equal to sigma plus j omega will be there, sigma plus j omega will be there, so minus 1 plus j omega will be there. So the plot can be minus 1, this value is there. So your ROC sigma is equal to 1 means ROC will be there, maybe left hand sided, maybe right hand sided upon seeing the signal value. So like this value is there. Okay, for z value, है ना, z is equal to r e to the power j omega will be there, and r is nothing but e to the power sigma. So e to the power minus 1 will be there, and e to the power minus 1 value will be equal to uh, 1 by e, 1 by e value. Okay, so the circle radius will be 1 by e portion, and face will be almost omega only. So whatever omega value will be there, so it can be represented as, in the left hand side I will draw uh, this value, this r is equal to 1 by e value, and it will go on, it will go on into. So ultimately what we can say that, for s, real part of s is equal to minus 1 will represent r or mod of z, or mod of z equal to 1 by e, 1 by e. Okay, so ultimately what will happen, this value is there. So actually r is equal to 1 is, I'll made with green color. R is equal to 1, uh, r is equal to 1, this is r is equal to 1 circle, and now it is in the innermost part of this. So now you can understand the conclusion what I was wanted to tell you, that if your ROC, if your ROC is in the j omega axis, left hand side or right hand side, whatever it may be, but it is in the j omega axis, then means j omega axis in the s plane is, j omega axis in the s plane is same as r is equal to 1 circle in the z plane, है ना. um, Innermost I say, left hand side of s plane, left hand side of s plane is equivalent to uh, inner circle, uh, inner circle inner circle of radius, r is equal to less than 1 in z plane. This only value you should understand from z plane, that इन हिंदी, अगर हमारा जे ओमेगा एक्सिस एस प्लेन का आपका r इज इक्वल टू 1 यूनिट सर्कल, जिसको हम बोलते हैं r इज इक्वल टू 1 सर्कल और यूनिट सर्कल, इट इज अ यूनिट सर्कल. ओके, एंड अगर हमारा क्या बोलते हैं सिग्मा की वैल्यू लेफ्ट हैंड साइड ऑफ एस प्लेन में आ रहा है, तो वो इक्विवेलेंट है जेड प्लेन में इनर सर्कल, मतलब r इज इक्वल टू 1 अगर यूनिट सर्कल है उसके अंदर वो बनेगा, है ना. सेम एज इफ यू विल प्लॉट, लेट सपोज, लेट सिग्मा इज इक्वल टू +1. ओके, सिग्मा इज इक्वल टू +1, तो अब क्या होगा, एस प्लेन में होगा सिग्मा प्लस जे ओमेगा इज इक्वल टू 1 प्लस जे ओमेगा की वैल्यू हो जाएगी. इसका मतलब है इसका एस प्लेन विल बी इन द राइट हैंड साइड, एस इज इक्वल टू 1, सिग्मा इज इक्वल टू 1. यहाँ से फ्रॉम हियर ROC can be right hand side, ROC can be left hand side, whatever it may be, based on your signal, your pole value. Okay, no problem. Your signal value, it is right hand side or left hand side. Okay, now for z is equal to r e to the power j omega will be there, r value will be equal to r value, or you can say mod of z value will be equal to e to the r is equal to e to the power sigma value is there, e to the power 1 value is equal to e, है ना. E is nothing but 2.7 value is there, so it is greater than 1. So we can plot here this value r is equal to nothing but 2.7 or e value, and this value will be my circle is not exactly, but you understand that it is a circle only, and here r is equal to 1 will be r, this is actually radius is equal to 1, unit circle is this one, so it will be in outside. So here conclusion can be drawn as that right hand side of s plane is equivalent to outside of the unit circle, outside of the unit circle in z plane. Okay, now exactly you are understanding the concept of s plane and z plane, the relation between s plane and z plane. It is just as that of agar if your in s plane it is in the left hand side, poles in the left hand side, so in the z plane also it will be in the inner side of unit circle. If it is in the right hand side, the poles will value will be outside of the unit circle in the z plane. So this is the relation between s plane and z plane. So some final conclusion I can tell you. uh, Conclusion I can tell you for z plane. Conclusion, see, first of all, conclusion is what? First of all, conclusion is vertical lines of S plane is transferred to circular line in the Z plane. So in Z plane there will be circular lines or circular strip, you can say, or you can say annular strip. First of all, in Z plane, how we will represent your ROC? With circular strip. With circular strip will write. Okay, set of concentric circles. There will be set of concentric circles. Concentric circles, ठीक है, with radius 0 to infinite value. See, I'll tell you how. Whenever we'll take, see, sigma is equal to 0 value. If we'll take sigma is equal to 0 value means j omega xs is taken, and j omega xs will be represented as sigma is equal to 0 means r is equal to 1. Definitely r is equal to 1. Okay, no problem with that. Sigma is equal to infinite value. Sigma is equal to infinite, so r is equal to e to the power sigma. R is equal to e to the power sigma means is equal to infinite value. Okay, and sigma is equal to minus infinite value will be there, then r is equal to 0 value will come. So these three conditions, see, these three conditions I will tell you in the left hand side. Sigma is equal to 0 means this line. Sigma is equal to infinite means somewhere in the right hand side, and sigma is equal to minus infinite means in the left hand side. Same here, if you will plot, sigma is equal to 0 means r is equal to 1, so we will plot radius of r is equal to 1. R is equal to 1. Okay, r is equal to infinite means r is equal to infinite somewhere, r is equal to infinite means somewhere, and r is equal to 0 means this point. So sigma is equal to minus infinite means left hand side will be inside, and the last portion is sigma is equal to minus infinite will lead to r is equal to 0 line, r is equal to 0 circle, and sigma is equal to infinite will lead to r is equal to infinite circle. Like this it happens. Okay. Okay, so by understanding this, we'll see, we have seen some questions, and now we'll plot ROC also for that question only. Let's suppose we have taken del of n. Okay, del of n we were seen, and we have taken Z transform. We got one value. And for mod Z, for mod Z, every value or r value. See, I'll show you the question. We have seen delta of n value here. Delta of n, see, delta of n, this value was coming 1, which is less than infinite. So for every value of r, let's suppose that r is less than 1, r is equal to 1, r is greater than 1. For every value of r, this value will come only 1, and it will be absolutely integrable. So for every value of r, Z transform can be calculated. So we can show it by see, we can write here for every value of Z. Mod Z is for every value. Okay, it will be Z transform can be calculated. So it can be plotted by like this. See, first of all, you will make a unit circle. And we'll see for inside also, for r is less than 1 also, you have your Fourier, that Z transform can be calculated. For r is equal to 1 also it can be calculated, and for r is greater than 1 also it can be calculated. So we can plot it like this, and we can draw an imaginary line of r is equal to infinite value like this. Okay, and we can plot it like this. This is the way to plot ROC for this type of signal, where for every value of Z or mod Z, Z transform can be calculated. Now again we'll see our next question. Our next question was u of n was there, and its transform was 1 by 1 minus Z inverse was there, and for mod its Z transform can be calculated only for when mod Z is greater than 1. है ना? This for this only we have seen the earlier value. So see, its ROC can be calculated like this. Its ROC, first of all, we'll make a unit circle. Uh, Again and again I'm telling you, this unit circle value is nothing but the j omega axis in the x plane, है ना? So this is r is equal to 1 circle. Now see, mod z is greater than 1 or r is greater than 1, both are same only. So uh, whenever r is greater than 1 only, then only its z transform can be calculated, means its region of convergence in the r is greater than 1. Okay, so we'll make a imaginary axis, imaginary point of r is equal to infinite, and we'll see that this value is okay. This value okay, this value is like this, means for inner it will not be applicable, for outside only r is greater than 1 only it will be applicable. So like this we can plot. Okay, now next let's we have seen u of minus n minus 1 will be value will be there. Okay, and here we have plotted z by 1, z minus 1 will be there. Okay, okay, I think z it will be z1 minus z. Okay, so z by 1 minus z. Okay, and its mod z value will be less than 1. We have seen earlier, means r is less than 1, so we can plot like this. Unit circle is there, that is r is equal to 1, and here we have a region of convergence for r is less than 1, so we'll plot like this. So now you must be understanding that how we are representing region of convergence, why we are representing region of convergence for this type of signal, so that we can understand that in which values of r we can calculate its z transform. Okay, so today in this lecture we'll close by this much only. In the next lecture we'll see some properties like multiplication by exponential properties will be there, and some questions also will solve. What are right sided signal, and how will represent left sided signal, and then we'll see moreover questions, moreover properties of this initial value and final value theorem in the upcoming lectures. So for this lecture this much only, we'll see in the next lecture. And if you have liked this video, then please do hit the like button, share it with the needy students, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe it. And okay, tata, bye bye, see you, have a good day, Jai Hind.